Hello, everyone. It tells me we are alive, so I do believe that. Hi, this is Toni Weel with Sarah from Virtuous Unicorns. And I think if I did have it correct, we are on our episode 11 of our health question and answer. A little about me. The story is the same for many of us who got into the healing modalities. Can we call it that? To heal ourselves first, and then realize we need to help others. And I have a long list of things that I needed to heal, and was very, very happy when I found Dr. Morse. So I really follow his education, and with success, if I stick to what he is teaching me. That is not always 100% the case. And but doing well when I do, and that goes for many of the people that I talk with, and it's an amazing journey. It's not something that you do for a little while and then it's like, okay, I'm done detoxing, I'm healed now, I go back to what I did before, because then you will get what you had before, all the symptoms that are not so pleasant. And with us is Sarah. Sarah is, my gosh, last week some word came up and I thought, can I say that? It's like my sidekick.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I think people think I am. And I'm like, no, I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't say it last time, but I figured now it has to come out because it popped up in my head again. So now it's gone. It's gone. Sarah is a huge help. She has a lot of knowledge, and at least as much as I do. And she's always helping me with things, helping me figuring out how to work out certain things, and it's fun. I like it. I love it.
I know. I've definitely enjoyed this journey, and I'm so glad that we were able to connect and just go on this journey with you. And all those words are very kind. I definitely feel like I'm a student here learning and just absorbing all of this gnosis. So yeah.
Yeah, it's and we keep learning, that is the beauty of it all. It is like a never ending, it's even with the learning, it's a never ending journey. And it's up to us to make it fun. Because every time people think about detoxing and their bad health, and it's like, oh my God, I have to let go of this and I have to let go of that. And believe me, I have been there, and at times I am there. So I'm not going to tell you it is easy, but my gosh, can we please laugh about it? About all the sometimes the setbacks.
If you don't laugh, won't you just cry?
Yeah, that is the other end of the spectrum. And we can, crying is good, when it's necessary. And I would never stop anyone from crying, but even as a child, I was called a crybaby. I was crying about anything and everything and nothing.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Now we know, the adrenals are affected when that happens. But I see how, it doesn't happen anymore. It's very rare that I have my crying moments. Yeah, when my kitty dies, I cry. And when I hear a sad story or a beautiful story, but it's nothing that out of the blue about everything. So that already tells me on my adrenals are getting stronger, and it is it's not a fast fix. So let's not kid ourselves. It just not is a fast fix.
But, and I used to think too that it was just in maturity also, but even as I've gotten older, like I still feel like I'm just as tender as I was even when I was younger. So I do definitely believe the adrenals do play into that. And as you make them stronger, I mean, is it just, I don't know, is it on different levels too, where as our body becomes more pure, then we just have a better knowing within too, a better trusting of God's plan?
I think it's a lot of things together. What I noticed personally was that when I started on my raw food journey and then all fruit, I started feeling different, lighter, didn't see that dark, didn't hear the dark voices. And I just felt lighter. And that meant that there was less stress. And I think when there is less stress, then it helps your adrenals. It may sound really simple, and this is just something that I experienced, but I can see how that helps because, you know, the bad food, the coffee, whatever other things are affecting your adrenals, stress definitely is a big one, really big one.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. I see JV. Should there be a picture? Well, there could be a picture. I don't know why there isn't. Maybe because I had it set as with video, because we are expecting a guest, but she's not here yet, so she may not have the Zoom link I sent her yet, because I had set it on all video, and now it doesn't show anything. So I don't know. Oh, JV, just don't look at it. Just look at the chest and just imagine us, you know, listen to us, the really beautiful young women, you know, my forever 38. I don't know. I don't even know what Sarah's is. So.
22.
Oh my gosh, I don't want to go there.
In my mind, though, I feel like I'm still like early 20s, especially when I'm around like younger people, like my son's friends or whatever, or nieces and nephews. I'm like, I'm still the coolest person here.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, I don't think my family sees it that way, but that's okay too.
No, nobody looks at me that way, really, but that's how I feel in my mind.
Yeah, I had a question, and this is actually kind of interesting. Katie asked like about freckles. And I know I heard Dr. Morse talk about it one time, and he was like, you know, freckles is not really a normal thing. And I was like, well, you know, I'm a redhead. I'm, well, light skinned, not as light as I used to be, but I have freckles. Wherever the sun touches, I have freckles. And that could be related to a weak parathyroid. I would not like my freckles to go away when I'm healing. So I like my freckles. But is it something that we should not have? Yeah, why would somebody who is a red hair and light skinned, why do we have freckles and others don't? I have to admit, I haven't looked into it because I was like, I like my freckles. So I didn't see it as not as something that we should not have.
Yeah.
And but yes, I did hear from people who were longer on 100% fruit that freckles did go away.
Huh. That is very interesting. I would definitely like to touch and look at that too. I notice it also maybe because we have the seasons here too. We're not just in the sun all the time, but summertime, I will notice freckles come out a lot more on some of my family members too, especially the face and shoulders, I guess, where it's getting more of the sun. I wonder how that really plays in.
Yeah, I was a motorcycle rider, so I was always out in the sun, and did cover my skin though when it was high heat. But and that's why I have a darker tan now than I used to be. But other than that, we always called our legs like milk bottles.
Yes, especially when the sun first comes out.
Well, you know what? My mother was covered in freckles, very white skin, and she hated the sun. She never got out in the sun. And lo and behold, she still made it to almost 90, well, 89.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
But she had these big dark freckles.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Mine are tiny ones. I like them. I want to keep them. I want to get healthy, but I want to keep my freckles.
Kind of like who you are, you know?
Yeah, silly. I'm just tired of us, you know.
Yeah.
I think you were in school, you were bullied because of red hair. And oh my gosh, I was wearing glasses too. So that was not a good thing.
Oh, goodness.
And then having freckles, gosh, I got the full load.
Yeah.
But it's funny. You get older and you get to appreciate it. And when my granddaughter was born, well, actually my daughter, and I think my granddaughter too, but my daughter, then she's not a redhead. She had darker hair, but she had these cute freckles on her nose.
No, that's
Yeah.
really cute.
So
Yeah.
I'm pro freckles. So I hope they don't go away. Another question, and that is one that you brought up about spider veins, and I hear that a lot lately. People worrying about the spider veins. I don't know if there's now an increase with everything that's going on, you know, with the facts that we had or other things. I did listen to. I knew that spider veins is related to a weak parathyroid. And Dr. Morse actually says, stay away from the grains and the beans and the dairy. But we know all that. It is, but as with everything, we want to heal our body. We transition, do it slow if you can. If you have some life-threatening disease, I would say, yeah, jump right in. But other than that, go slow. You know, get your body and adjust it to your different lifestyle and transition to the all-round, mostly fruit lifestyle. And you will see the changes. And yeah, I did hear from people that, 2 years on high raw or all raw and high fruit, they still have some spider veins. And then it's like, well, this is time where you bring in some herbs that can help you and see where that goes. But healing is not like, okay, this is done in so many months. I cannot even say it's done in so many years. Or people who did jump in and expect after a month they are healed. It takes time. It took time for us to get where we are with all the symptoms, and now we just have to take it back. And the beauty actually is it doesn't even take that long compared to how long it takes for us to get as sick as we are, or have as many symptoms. JP, you mentioned the supplement Carifora. No, I'm not familiar with it, but probably that is because we do not take any supplements. So now I have to, of course, look it up.
Yeah.
I know, I had never heard of it.
I haven't either. And I was actually going to say too that, a lot of supplements are synthetic. So I guess we just have to really kind of look in to see what that is.
The thing is if it's not an herb that is being put in a capsule or in a tincture, then often it is isolated chemistry. Now, what I see here, I see a beautiful flower on a bottle, Carnivora. So maybe it is from a flower, and well, I'm looking into it right away, because it always tells you it does things, and it's like I'm not so sure about it. And when they tell me it has 17, I have the number 17 here, multi-dimensional nutrients. What the heck is that? Naturally occurring in the plants, working together to support the body's natural healing process. If it is occurring in a plant, then why not using the plant? Oh, it is from the Venus flytrap plant. It's derived from the Venus flytrap plant. So that means it's isolated chemistry. It also means you can wonder if we eat our natural diet, would we eat the Venus flytrap? I highly doubt it. I really do.
Nope.
It says it contains 17 natural occurring non-toxic compounds. Carnivora selectively targets and eliminates abnormal cells without harm to a single normal cell. Well, if it is foreign to the body, it is harmful. I don't care what beautiful, explanations that they come up with. I wouldn't use it. And they say it's free from magnesium, stearate, salt, gluten, yeast, sugar, soy, etc., etc., etc. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It is isolated chemistry. And what Dr. Morse was teaching us, it actually made a lot of sense. Because it is, the body recognizes what our natural food is, and it responds to that. Now you put some foreign food in, like, all the processed foods that we eat, it's all foreign foods, and that's why we get sick. So I think there's just, a logic thing here. If it is isolated chemistry, if you cannot pick it right from a tree or a bush, then I would say, no, it's not really, it's not food for us.
Mm-mm.
And now you have to say something, Sarah.
I was gonna say, if like the processing of it at all, you're taking the simplicity out of it. And from what I've learned on this journey is it's just all very simple. Everything we need has been provided. We don't have to cook it, process it, extract it. You just eat it.
Yeah, and I was I had my wedding anniversary a few days ago, and I didn't even realize it, so I didn't have anything planned. But that day, I had planned to spend time with my beautiful friend from Hawaii. And then later in the day, I realized, oh my gosh, it's it's our wedding anniversary. But my friend had brought us a gift, and these were 4 fruits that I have never heard of. I had never seen before, and of course, then I had never tasted. And this was eggplant. I think that is what it egg fruit. And I was like, okay, it's not in the way how it looks, because it doesn't look like an egg. She said, well, it tastes like the egg yellow, and it tastes like cream cheese. And I'm like, okay. And we were, and my husband here were kind of spooning it out. And I was like, well, the skin is really thin. I mean, why spoon it out? I'm pretty sure you can eat it. And yes, the skin was very edible. So you come again, you see your fruit, and you don't need a knife and you don't need a spoon. You wash it up and you can just eat it. So, okay, I tried or I ate, and I still have a few left. I ate the egg fruit. I am, whereas she thought it was great that people would, feel that there is something that you love to. If you love like cream cheese pies or whatever you put it in with fruit, and this tastes similar, then this would be a good replacement. And I actually learned to not think that way. As you have a favorite food and then you replace it. I don't know. What do you think about that, Sarah?
I agree with that too. I've never liked the fake meat or the tofu. Everybody always said like tofu, and I can't stand tofu. But no, I do not like the idea of the replacement of things. I like that it's just, we should think about it as a cleansing in the way that we should be eating, and not keeping that brainwashing that we've all been through of thinking that, well, we like the cream cheese, so let's keep the cream cheese. It's almost like you're still staying within that mindset. And part of this journey is not only cleaning up your health, but it's also cleaning up your thoughts in the way of your new way of thinking.
Yeah, that was my idea too. Although we often talk within a group who was already introduced to being a fruitarian, or understanding that we are frugivores and have a fruitarian lifestyle. But we also get to talk to a lot of people who are not that well into the whole fruit thing, and maybe that may help
Mm-hmm.
them get over the hesitation of starting with the fruit, that they and that's
It does.
it absolutely made sense how she was explaining it to me. And I hadn't thought about that
Mm-hmm.
that way, but because maybe we kind of spoiled to talk a lot with people who know about being a fruitarian, while as others just starting out. And for
That's
me,
very
I never
true.
wanted to replace any specific taste, because if I'm thinking
Mm-mm.
about the things that I really liked, bread and cheese, there's no replacement there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even want to think that way, because then it's not sustainable. But
Mm-hmm.
the fruit, if you ever want to get some very filling fruit too, and I think that is really important, is that something is
Yes.
filling, because we often we get easily hungry, although it's getting less and less the more you are on fruit, and you leave out the fats and the proteins. But we often grab a banana, but this was a good thing. I only ate a half, and I was like, okay, that's enough. And it's about the size of a
Mm-hmm.
decent mango, so it's not huge. And it had 3 pits in there, and I saved the pits. So I'm gonna see if I can get them to grow. And if
Nice.
anyone
That'd be really neat.
anyone wants to order them, I think they come from Miami. I think you would have to Google Miami fruit shipping or something. Though you do use those keywords, and you will find the site, because that is how I
Okay.
found the website.
Okay. I'll check that out. I think, is it under maybe tropical fruit box of Miami?
Well, I think it's
Or
actually
yep,
called Miami Fruit.
miamifruit.org.
Yeah, Miami Fruit Company.
Yep, I see
You
it
can,
now.
yeah,
Miamifruit.org.
yeah. And you can order all kinds
Nice.
of fruit boxes there. I'm not going to claim they are cheap, because they're not, but they ship all over the country.
That's wonderful to hear. I mean, especially like if you're more in the northern areas too, you're kind of limited to what you can get also. And the price of everything too is just going up crazy, but you know,
Now,
just get
now,
what you
what
can
what do
get.
you? I mean, you live in a colder area than I do. Now, what there is
Mm-hmm.
something to it that people always say: stick with local, whatever is available local. Now, I'm
Yep.
not. I live in the subtropics now, but growing up and living until 20 years ago in the Netherlands, that's not nearly tropical. Tropical. It has a sea climate. It's cold. It's rainy. It can be pretty cold in the wintertime. We may have some hot days
Mm-hmm.
in the summertime, but rain is always a given. So but I grew up
Mm-hmm.
with apples and pears and berries, and not
Yeah. And
we could pick
peaches.
those in the wild even. But now I live in a subtropical area, and I eat tropical food. But that is not my
Mm-hmm.
what I used the first many years of my life. But now you have, like, you live in a colder area. And how do you
Mm-hmm.
feel about, because you mentioned, like, we can order that, we can order the tropical fruits. Would it do your body good to eat the tropical fruit, or would you say, we need to stick with what is locally available, and which would probably mostly be, apples and pears?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd be really surprised what you can get, like blueberries, cherries, pears, peaches, plums, apples. They all grow very well in more of the kind of, I don't know how the number scale goes, but I believe I live somewhere, and I don't 8, 9, whatever the zones are for growing. But so they do grow very well in these areas. Obviously, we're not getting bananas growing here or oranges, but that's the main thing I think about when I think of tropical fruits anyway, is oranges. And I've definitely been looking for some really good bananas, but my body personally does very well and does very well on oranges. I actually crave it and I want it like every day. But through the winter though, no, we didn't do any orange juice through the winter just due to the place we can get them. The oranges they were getting were not good. But no, we do, like I love cherries and grapes and things like that. I do like apples, but not, that's not one of my favorites anyway, but my body does good with tropical fruit anyway, too. And I'm not one of those people either that gets cold. I don't know if muscle has something to do with that too. I mean, by all means, like I do not work out. I'm not like in the gym doing anything like that, but we do have a farm and whatnot. So I don't know. Everybody talks about getting cold through the winter. Obviously it's cold outside, but I'm not like personally cold inside from like eating fruit or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah, I mean, it does.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I think we can let go of the idea that you have to only eat local. We eat what we can get and how we feel on it. And
yeah,
and we do well if it's tropical or not. It's yeah. Because
well, I did just think of something else too. Yeah. Here, all you have are grapes and apples. No. But I did just think of something too. Okay, so even though we are currently residing in more colder climates, that's not really where the human should reside. We should more reside in the golden zone, around the equator area. So it's not so much of we should eat locally, we should eat what we're supposed to be eating. And so maybe that might have something to do with it too. And that's why maybe our bodies can adjust to fruit no matter where we live, because that's really what we're supposed to be having. So
yeah,
that kind of made me think of that too. Yeah.
I see.
We have the question from JV.
Yeah, I was just looking at the chat and again about the freckles that Katie doesn't like them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Katie, they're beautiful. Embrace them. They are you. It is I feel it's unrelated to health. And but there is a trick that I learned from my mother. My mother was born in the late 20s, and the only one in a family of 7 who had freckles. And the trick they were using when she was young was putting lemon on their skin, and it lightens the freckles. Mm-hmm. I've never tried it, so I don't know. But this is something that has been done that a lot over the I don't know for how long, but and JV with liver spots. I'm just realizing something. It's one of on the questionnaire that we're using. Liver spots is one of the things that comes up under. Does it come up on? No, it actually comes up, I think, on the parathyroid. I'm not sure now, but anyway, we usually only see that when people are older. And you know what happened when we get older? We always say, yeah, I have this and I have that. Yeah, well, I'm getting older. It's no, your body is just telling you enough of that junk, eat healthier. And liver spots will go away. And I had one and I don't see it anymore, but I only have one. So it's if you start on more fruit and all raw, and you leave all the junk food out, then you see a lot of positive changes. Oh my gosh, Katie, I love that. Angel kisses. I have not heard that yet.
Yeah, I grew up with a girl that had that.
Yeah. And what can be used on the skin for a moisturizer? The one that I use, and the funny thing is, I only use it maybe every other day once I, get out of it, had a bath, had a soaking bath, and there is this lotion, and it is called Rosemary Glad Stars. And I even have the, yeah, JV, I'm older than you. So that is when you get the problems. when you get in your 50s, your body says like, not gonna do this anymore. Here you go. We have some symptoms for you. But we were on the Rosemary Glad Star lotion. If you type it in Google or wherever, search engine you like to use, then you will get probably, I have a recipe book that I can send to people if they like it. Just send me an email. The company that is selling it, or where I get it from, and I have one right here, and I love it. It's Rosemary Glad Stars Famous Face Cream, and I use the one for a regular skin. And it is it is herbs. It has, I will tell you what's in it. It's grapeseed oil, apricot kernel oil, coconut oil, aloe vera gel, aloe vera juice, lanolin, unprocessed beeswax, and essential oils of vanilla and elemi. And that is made by Healing Spirits Herb Farm. Now, I was the one that in my 20s, I had a super, super dry skin in like felt like paper, in the morning or after washing. And I used, oh my gosh, the most expensive skin creams because nothing was working. And every time after 3 months, I developed an allergy. I got a rash. So I had to try something else. And I got to a point that I stopped using anything at all. And so now it is only once in a while that I use the Rosemary Glad Stars. But the beauty is when your diet is right, your skin will be beautiful. And you don't need all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, Katie, that it is the I will say it again, Healing Spirits Herb Farm, and you can do a search on their site. healingspiritsherbfarm.com, and you look for Rosemary Glad Stars Famous Face Cream, and I use the one for regular skin. So do I have it?
I know that JV was touching on the coconut oil too, and I know that I've definitely used coconut oil in the past, but it's
not
an
anymore.
oil.
I did too, because I had
it's an oil, and oil is oil.
Yeah, if you don't want to put it in your mouth, don't put it in your skin. But a lot of people do put it in their mouth. They cook in it. I did too. I put it in my smoothies before I knew any better. So no oils. And when you put it on your skin, I don't know. I think it kind of clogs the pores. Your skin doesn't need it. But when you get rid of all the junk in your body and all the toxins, then you will see that your skin is getting beautiful, and you don't need to put all that stuff on it. And I really want to warn people about conditioners, for hair. The first you put on a shampoo, that is so aggressive to your hair and your scalp, and now you have to use a conditioner. Now, how much sense does that really make? So you use the wrong shampoos. No. Now, I spoke with a lady who told me that she was using a bottle of conditioner every week, and it was getting financially out of hand. And when she started on this new way of living, because she used that because her hair was so tangled, otherwise she couldn't do anything with it. When she stopped using the aggressive shampoos and started on this way of living, her hair was no longer tangled, and she didn't need the conditioner anymore. So if you see what is happening with our bodies, how we have been, well, kind of forced to mess it up because, well, we didn't know any better, and everybody tells you what we need to use. Go to any hair salon and see what they all put on your hair. My gosh. So, yeah.
It's a lot that they put on there too, and a lot of it's filled with plastics and everything that'll make your hair feel fuller and fluffier or whatever, but it's really just destroying your hair. And at the end of the day, you only need water to really wash your hair. But while you're in the process of transitioning and detoxing, your hair can just not feel right. And it's really just a stage you kind of have to go through. Maybe put it in a little ponytail, not too tight or something like that, or kind of wear it up until you kind of transition, through that. But I know a lot of people suffer from like very oily, and that's why they will go and really try to wash that oil out of your hair. But why is your body producing all that extra oil? That's something else that's also going on
because you
within your
keep
body
it's like
too.
a vicious circle. You keep washing it with aggressive stuff, and then it needs to produce more, and again more and more, and you never get out of that until you really stop using those kind of products. So I had long discussions on the defense group on Facebook about this topic, and what using on your hair. And I've seen the best results in my hair is by just rinsing it with water. And
cool water, really.
Yeah.
I don't like saying cold. So I do not like cold water on my head, but
well, who does? Who
does? And we're so used to feeling like we have to have a scent. And we do have a scent, and that's our pheromone scent. And I know that I believe I discussed this with Charlie or something before, but that's why like people that wear colognes or laundry detergents or your shampoo or whatever, and it can even affect your relationships because you're attracted to like that scent, really. You're not attracted to that person. And so we do actually have our own scents, and they do not smell. Like if you're on like the right diet, you will not smell. You actually have a nice scent odor that will come from you, such as like honey or, just kind of, I don't know, sometimes men smell like more kind of masculine, but it's not like they're not bad. And people don't realize that yet because they're so afraid of having like body odor or whatnot, but it does go away. And when you first stop using like deodorant or scented soaps and stuff, of course, there's going to be a transition period, but you will eventually start smelling sweet and good too. So actually, when I'm around somebody that has very scented shampoos or whatever, I almost cannot even be in the car with them anymore. It really it's so strong to me. So,
well, it actually is. Now you mentioned something in regards with relationships that make me think. We all favor certain smells, like, oh, that smells good. Now there is a person that is totally wrong for you, totally wrong, but he smells like that. That would mean that you would be attracted to that just because of the smell.
Yeah. I mean, but is it their pheromone or is it like their cologne? So we grew up in a time, I guess, when that cool water cologne was very popular, and we would call it fool water cologne because it would fool you and to really being attracted to that person because everybody loved that scent.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that's crazy. There's got to be definitely probably a science behind it, I'm sure, to make us think that way. But yeah, I mean, it's almost like you're not attracted to that person because you really have no idea who they are per se. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing that I would like to get into on that too.
Very true. I found that once we ate, no more meat and eggs and dairy and beans and all that, we don't have an odor, we not an underarm odor or any other odor, the hair or whatever. There is no a natural odor like what you have with feet. Everything can smell, but that's not there anymore. Now you can smell the person that you are attracted to. And sometimes my husband says that he has been sweating from working outside. It's like, oh my gosh, I smell. And I'm like, don't do anything. It smells good.
Yeah, exactly. I know, like, you may think you do, but you don't. Oh my gosh, that's funny. They're talking too in the comment. I lost the comment, but a recommendation of a soap, which we have talked, like, I assume like maybe a hand soap or a body soap, something like that. And again, it is really just rinsing your body off. But as you know, that we have cats. So when you're like cleaning litter boxes or you're dealing with that kind of stuff, you really think like, oh goodness, I really got to get this off of my hands. Or I'm not saying there's anything on your hands, but you should after that. What would be a recommendation of a soap, saying after doing like a dirty job like that?
Even the homemade soap that I find on the farmer's market, they have lye in it. You don't want to put that on your skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say lemon will always do it. Baking soda will always do it. And you can make your own soaps, but it's almost, if you make it without lye, it won't be soapy. So right. we were taught that is the soapy part is what we need, and we think that is the cleansing part, but it is not. Water will clean anything. If you put your in your for your laundry and you just wash it with water only, hot water, it will be just as clean as when you put soap in it. Because I don't believe.
I know we talked about soap nuts before.
Yeah, well, yeah, I forgot that. The soap nuts. I do. I still have the soap nuts. Yeah. Yeah.
You got to get those out and use them.
Yeah. It is very true. And I see a lot about essential oils. I'm actually trained in essential oils. I'm an what do you call that? A certified essential oils coach or specialist, whatever you want to call it. And I have them all. And to be honest, I don't use them because I like to keep life simple. I really, I keep it simple. So that is, and not wasting a ton of money on shampoos and conditioners and soaps. And the thing is, you can't put it in your mouth. Don't put it on your skin.
And how are essential oils made too?
Well, it's not, you get but they're stronger even than the tinctures. It is the full plant that you use, so it's not just part of a plant. And you can barely put any essential oil. They always need to be in a carrier, so you cannot really put them on your skin. But they smell good. You could put a few drops like lavender oil or peppermints in your eucalyptus in your bathtub, or diffuser. But then you have to be really careful. When I finished those classes, oh my gosh, this is now about 8 years ago, 7-8 years ago, and I had bought diffusers for every room of my house. And not even thinking about, and I had learned about that. Don't use them around cats. There are only a very few essential oils that are safe around your cats. It can actually kill them. And that means just smelling them. And it's a little red flag for me. Then I'm like, so I have all these diffusers and never use them.
Yep, I know. That's the other thing too, is we don't use scent in our house on anything either, like nothing. So when I do walk into a home or I see those videos where they have diffusers, they use laundry scent boosters, they use all this stuff, I'm like, I don't think I could ever walk into their home. But Yeah, people use them.
Yeah, I see a few messages from Aroma Patriot, and I think you work with, I did see the company Young Living, one of the MLM companies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that can be therapeutic. I would, yeah. The safety of pets has more to do with the purity, not necessarily. I'm not talking about pets in general. I'm really talking specifically about cats. Dogs can handle more, but I never ever want to be part of somebody who is using essential oils in a diffuser, loves it, and then her cat dies. Because that has happened, not on my watch, and it's not going to, but I want people to be aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about patchouli. I loved patchouli. That was my hippie era scent. I still like it. If I smell it somewhere on a farmer's market and I put my nose in the air, it's like, okay, where is this coming from? I like it. I somehow always want to have more of it, but yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
I like that smell. Did you ever hear where that smell actually, where they developed that somewhere in France where people were not washing themselves?
I can imagine, because I'm one of the people that do not like patchooling, but my mother loves it. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah. I do know, like, for an incense or whatever, and would be like and this would be used just rarely also, would be the cannabis. I know we've touched on that before too, where that would definitely be more of like a natural kind of thing, but I don't even know enough about how often you should use that either, or even often at all. But again, it's just my decision of my journey is to keep it very simple and natural, and just try to do with what is kind of more found in nature. My whole life is not based around that, but that is where I try to point my journey to go. And that's what I like to think about when I am trying to bring something new into my life. Mm-hmm.
Was that you mentioned that in relationship to what was that kind of oil?
The cannabis, like cannabis incense type deal.
Oh, yeah.
Not smoking or anything like that.
Right. I haven't seen that yet.
Well,
I do like, I always like to smell, even the smoking, when I grew up, it was the hashish. I always liked the smell of that. But not the smoking, and we know, how toxic any smoke is in our body. But I don't know. It's like, I know Charlie mentioned that, but I haven't seen it. I haven't come across it. Let us say it that way.
Yeah, I have not yet either. I don't even know if I would want to go into that. But I just know that that is one of the more natural approaches of it too. So, but again, I don't know all that much about it. So
smells can be absolutely healing. I mean, I know of a rose that is the top one, actually, and since I was little, I was always mesmerized by the smell of roses. And I have a rose plant, and every time there is a new flower, I smell it, and it actually it smells like a rose, which is rare nowadays, because you can buy rose bushes, they don't smell like roses. So to me, it's nothing, it doesn't mean anything anymore. It's not about the beauty of the flower, it's about the scent that they give you. And if that scent is not there, and that smell always made me happy. So yeah, I have like rose water, just, rose petals that were in, soaked in water. And it smells absolutely beautiful. I have it right for, if I open my kitchen window, I can smell it.
Oh, that's
And that is with all the plants. And sometimes usually it's like, after rain in early mornings, and you go out, a little around town or wherever you live, and you have all these flowery smells. It's beautiful. And that is part of your healing. It makes you happy.
It does.
I have that with mint. I once was on a motorcycle trip, and it was dark, and we camped outside, not knowing where the heck we were, and put up a little tent, and in the morning opened it up, and it's like, oh my God, we were in the middle of a mint field, a peppermint field.
Oh, wow.
I didn't even want to leave.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I wanna get back just a little about the essential oils that are toxic to cats. And one of them is the wintergreen oil. Now, wintergreen oil is actually toxic even to fleas on the cats, though that is why it's used in natural flea stuff. And with my cat rescue, I had a lot of cats, and there was no way around having fleas then also. And that was actually in one of those flea, what do you call that? Flea tinctures, flea lotions, whatever. Yeah, and my cats got so sick. And they hated it with a passion. Now, another of the we have to say potentially toxic to cats. It's not only the wintergreen, it's the peppermint oil, the citrus oil, including lemon oil, tea tree oil, like Melanuka oil, pine oil, eucalyptus oil, cinnamon oil, which I had not expected and didn't remember, that was in my course, pennyroyal oil, sweet birch oil, clove oil, and yang.
I cannot ever say that word. Yang.
Yeah, yang. That L doesn't want to. My tongue does not want to do that. But it is, yes, the higher of concentration of an essential oil, the greater the risk to your cats. Now, it is, you can say, yeah, it's the quality of the oils, but when we want to have a quality oil, we usually go to a higher concentration of oil. And that is actually where you want to be, careful. And when there are signs of essential oil poisoning in cats, you get the drooling, the vomiting, and tremors, and that is what I saw with my cats. Difficulty walking, wobbliness, respiratory distress, the wheezing, fast breathing, panting, coughing. I've seen all of that, and that was because of those essential oils in it. So that is why I'm saying, be careful. Don't go lightly with that. I mean, we have to be careful with everything, even on people. There are people, I mean, some people will say, oh, it's just safe to ingest, what is that oil? Castor oil. It helps if you're constipated, it helps you go. Well, is it healthy? No. Is it okay to put it on an oil pack on your body? Yeah, but then it goes into your body, but it doesn't go to your digestive system. So there are always things that you have to be careful.
Yep. I agree with that.
Okay, come on, people. Do we have any questions?
I do see where there's some conversation asking people where each of them are from. I know on the website that Toni has designed, the freaksenseworld.com, there is a section on there where you can actually see where each other are, and then you can see where people are. So I was seeing that in the comments too, asking where people are from. That could be definitely something we could do another show about, where we could show that area. But
yeah, it is. I wasn't aware of that the first few months that when I started that website, that if you are on an Android or even an iPhone, you couldn't see that whole menu that is on the left of the website, where it has the groups, the forums, the members, Charlie's blog. And but you can see it when you put it in desktop mode. So there is a way that you can watch things in desktop mode, and you can see it. But yeah, the full functionality of the website is actually specifically for, you know, laptops and computers. I'm still considering making a similar website that is geared to health, only about health, and then the connections. But I still have to figure out how exactly to do that, because it will be different than from Freaks World. On a Freaks World, if you would click on members, and then you see all the members, and then you can see on maps, and you can you see how many people are in your area. I was amazed that within a few miles of me, I have, I think, 5 or 6 people. And that is, you can connect with these people. You do not, on that website, you do not have to put in your full address, just your the town where you live, and it already works. So you can keep your address private, which I do suggest you do. And then when you click on one of these what do you call those, pin drops, it shows you the name, and when you click on the pin drop, then it goes to their profile, and you can send them a private message and explaining you're in the area and you would love to connect with them. And if you have, like, you know, a few people, my God, you can do, I was saying somebody, you can do a potluck. And then people think about a potluck, and it's like, yeah, okay, well, now what do I have to cook? No, on our potlucks, you bring fruit.
Fruit gathering or entertainment.
Yeah, that's, you know, that can be, it doesn't have to be food, but fruit exchanges, that would be good, you know. You just bring fruit, and yeah, that all works.
Yeah, the website is, I mean, I do know that we discussed that we would get into kind of like doing some more deep dives into each area of them, but it is such a wealth of information that you really just can't find that kind of information other places all in one area. And one of the areas I love being on is your area, Toni, the health area. There's just so many documents and everything there, and there's groups where people can meet up. I mean, it's a beautiful website. You did an amazing job.
Thank you. And we're not done yet.
It's still growing.
We're trying things out, finding errors, like, oh, we made this work. Oh, darn, now that doesn't work anymore. So it is a constantly going back and forth and figuring things out. And I hadn't designed websites in probably 10 years. And when I started this, I was like, oh my God, I don't remember how this worked. And so many things changed in the last 10 years. And I started with web designing in 95 and could do the HTML coding, but, you know, there's so much more going on now, and I'm not a programmer. So it is, but, you know, we can make it work. And I do have help. I have help from a gentleman from all places. He's from Nigeria, and he is so extremely, extremely helpful all the time. And, you know, helps me work things out. What I can't figure out, he can. So, and someday, Sarah, I'm going to teach you.
Yes, someday.
There's always someday to learn, and we wonder, how do we even find the time to do it all?
And what we had our discussion the other day is, when is tomorrow? So tomorrow's tomorrow, and then the day after that's tomorrow, and then it just keeps going.
Yeah, you know, there's always a tomorrow, but what happens with today, with now? You know, tomorrow is never the now. So it's like, yeah, and I had this actually came because I needed a painter here in the house. Didn't want to do it myself, ceiling painting, and he was like, come by tomorrow, and he didn't come. And then he said, yeah, we'll be there tomorrow. So my only reaction was like, yeah, well, there is always another tomorrow.
It's always tomorrow.
Yeah.
For sure.
So when you think about that, it's like we do have to live in the now.
We do, really, and try not to have the worries of tomorrow, because the only thing you are guaranteed is right now. And yeah,
It is. So you better enjoy it today, the now, and not worry about, what happened in the past. And I know that is not the easiest things, because, we haven't touched it in today, but it's like there's so much trauma and it keeps hanging around. And it's like, sometimes you see the people who did it to you, they're long gone or long over it, and you're still stuck with it. And that's why being in the now and enjoying whatever is in the now is so important.
it is.
And, and you cannot worry about tomorrow, you cannot. I did tell my husband to better fill up the gas tank, because tomorrow it will probably be 20 cents more again.
That's just actually maybe being prepared. Or the knowing. But yes, for sure. Crazy times we're in right now, huh?
Yeah, it is. But you cannot, if you worry ahead, things that may or may not happen, and it makes you sad, how can you ever be happy then? Because we watching the news, we can always find things that make us sad. But when we are staying in the now and the beauty of whatever is around it, that can be a purring cat on your lap, and or your favorite person you get to talk to, even if it's on the other side of the world and it's on the phone, or through the computer. There is always the now to enjoy, and that is your happiness.
It is. It very much is. That is for sure. JV, it is Sarah, Sara. No H, but I don't mind. However, yeah.
That's what they always do with my name, Tony. And then if I don't mind, yes, I do. Toni. And I have long-term friends who still do it.
Oh, I don't know. I guess everybody gets it wrong so much that I've just got tired of
it doesn't matter. Those are the things. There are so many things, that don't matter. This is one of them.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, well, we reached our hour again, and I want to thank everybody who was listening to us. I hope that the person who wanted to come on, did I forget that person? I sure hope not.
I did not see.
You didn't see her?
Mm-mm.
No, she didn't come on. Well, maybe next time.
Yep. And if anyone else listening, they can too. Just get the link, send an email to healthywithfruit@gmail.com. It's also in the show notes. And definitely we would like to speak with you.
Yeah, and you can talk to us and teach us, and be nice.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
But it would be nice. We had some people on before, and I do like it. I know it is sometimes a big challenge to do that. It was when I did that the first time, but it's not that hard.
We just work our way through everything. So
yeah. So thanks everyone for being here. We enjoyed it, and thank you so much, Sarah, again for all your notes. And happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Love you and love all of you being here, and have a absolutely amazing day.
Yes, everybody, we love you very much, and thank you for attending our show.
Yeah, thank you all. Until the next time. Bye-bye.